Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Surprise! It's not Miss Joni, but I'm pretty sure y'all knew that. How are y'all doing? I miss y'all so much. How are y'all doing? I don't know if I timed this right, but we here. We doing it. We out here. I missed y'all so much. Welcome to Winning Wednesdays. I hope that y'all can hear me and see me and all that. They didn't put me in charge of the live stream, y'all. They didn't put me in charge. We about to see what's happening on today. But yeah, how are y'all? Y'all, how are y'all doing? Hey Bree, let me see who we got in here so far. Chloe was here, so Chloe, I hope you still here. Hey honey, hey Cam, hey Corey, hey Malachi, hey Lene, hey Simone, hey Charles. Let me see. Hey cool kid. I'm not even gonna lie, I don't know who that is, but y'all let me know who that is. Um, hey Miss Carmen. Hey Miss Carmen. Hey Bree. How you doing? All right, y'all. Let's see what's going on. Miss England is coming on. She'll be on in a few seconds, and we're gonna get right into this one in Wednesday. Um, and we're gonna see what she's talking about today. It's always good when we have Miss England. So we're gonna see. We're gonna get her in here. She's coming. Hey, Miss England.
Up, y'all. How are you? Awesome. As you see that we chilling with Mo today.
Yeah, yeah, man. All week, man. All week.
Yeah, so we are chilling with Mo today. So
Yeah.
how y'all heartbeat feeling? Put it in the chat. I can't see the chat, so you going to have to help me, Mo.
I got you. I got you. We got a few.
You know,
We
you
got a few in
right
here.
here. She left me, y'all.
Cool.
Sierra. She
She's
used to be right here. Right
yeah.
here.
That is true. Where she go? Tell her come back.
I know, right? Oh, I could maybe do it this way. I got my other computer. Let me see. But more, I've been trying to look for our sessions, like even for last week, and it's been hard for me.
Why?
I can't find them. I
Oh,
don't believe these on YouTube.
oh.
Okay, Queen, don't be laughing at me,
I'm
okay?
not. We're gonna get it right.
You won't
It's
get
okay.
it right. Because
It's
I was going to post a sim what we did last week to the young lady that was on, and I couldn't find it.
all right. Well, all right. I'm gonna send you the link after
Mm.
this, and then we gonna go through how we gonna find it. It's all good. It's all good.
Okay. Is,
Stinker said she. Stinker said she in her room.
can you come and help me? Shoot. Anybody else on there want to tell me how y'all doing?
Yes, yeah. And they everybody just said hey for right now. They ain't saying how they doing, but we got Cam on here. We got Chloe, Lene, Charles, Simone, Bree, Bree.
Okay, we got group people in here.
Yeah, we got a few. We got a few. So listen, Stinker, I guess she over here too.
Right. She be right up here with me. But listen, y'all, first before we go on today, we have a great session. But before we go on, I do want to give salute and congratulations to the heartbeats who have been on their way to college and settling in. We just want to show y'all some love and give you kisses and strength from all the way from Baltimore. So we want to let you know we proud of you guys. And even if you just going to BC, you down going down the street, you might didn't go anywhere, but we are still proud of you working on your goals. So I want to make sure that I say that.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I agree.
yeah, I think, and we'll talk about that later because I was gonna say maybe we need to look at our data and see how many went to college this year. That'd be great to figure out, you know,
Yes, yes, yes.
something to think about. But
Here we go. Miss England, y'all, Miss England. She got
I'm
that kind
so
of mind, okay? She got that kind of mind. She be
I'm
like,
so
oh,
sorry. All right, so today we just going to be talking about worrying and the voices that we hear, the messengers we hear, and I figured this was a good time to have this conversation is because school's about to start back up. And so, we left COVID in a school where it was so confusion. Everybody didn't know what it was going to look like, how it was going to feel, the emotions that come up. So now the systems have created a plan, which means for young people to follow, not asking any young people to be a part of this plan. But I looked at it, and for me as a mom, I'm overwhelmed. Like when we ever talk about how many times you have to be online for how long, I'm kind of overwhelmed. And then looking at my second grader, I'm overwhelmed. So I just want to talk about with you guys. It's a new season, and as we move forward, it's going to be things that's going to come up, and we're going to have to be prepared for that. And what I mean by that, right now, you're in a season of transition into a whole nother platform, because yes, y'all have been COVID, been online, and you also been online with HeartSmiles, but now they trying to figure out what it looks like. So they got a little system in place. So now you're gonna have to follow these guidelines to get the grades you need. And some of y'all not gonna like it. So and some of y'all it's gonna be kind of difficult, right? Because we've been doing as we can. And as y'all know with success sessions, you can get up and go on success session with your phone right there. But this may take you to be really engaged all day. So it doesn't matter if you're talking about college, high school, middle school, even elementary. You have to get your mind focused on, and this I have to tell myself too, because I'm online all day. And that's one thing I try to explain to people who make the plans. Like, I'm an adult and I get frustrated online all day. I had to tell my supervisor yesterday, like, I'm hanging up, I'm not taking my hours because I'm having a mental health, right? And but y'all can't do that because young people don't have a voice to say that and still be able to get your credit. Because if you tell your teacher I'm logging off and I can't do this, they're gonna say, okay, but you need that grade. So I don't wanna do these provide strategies that I know you cannot do. So the first what we will do is just think about, like, where's your mindset with this transition. And I tell my daughters this, and I'm trying to get them ready. I don't think we're going to ever be the same. I think this is my opinion. This is my opinion, and please put it in the chat because I love the debate. In my opinion, when I look at stuff, they try to give us hints what the world going to look at about, like when you look at the Jetsons, when you get a chance, you should Google that. It's a cartoon that talk that I watched when I was a kid. I know Mo knows when I was a kid, and it was all future, everything. They went from work at home, their work came to them, their car did things for them. So when I look at the transition and how some stores are not taking coins, I told my kids, like, okay, this is going to be the new way. We can try to fight it and say, I'm not getting online, then you won't get an education. We can fight it and say, I'm not doing that, then if some jobs require you to be online. So we're going to have to comply and comply to what they're asking. And we have to do it in a way that it support us, but in this world of media and always, because I feel like in this world here, everybody can see everything going on in your house, right? So for me, I felt like I'm exposing my household to the world, which was funny because before we actually had to be online so much, I used to fuss with my kids about Facebook and their friends. Like, you on FaceTime. I mean, not Facebook, FaceTime. You on FaceTime all day with somebody that can see my house and know all my business, right? So now we on a world where you have to be online all day. So now not only my children, family, friends see my business, the whole world see my business. So I just want us to think about, how do y'all feel about this transition? And I know for me, I'm gonna just be honest, me working and making sure my kids are good, I find myself, because I'm always working online, that when it's time for me to do things to better my business, I'm kind of like, I'm tired. I ain't got to move the energy. And I have to push myself, and I feel bad because it's like, how can I sit, and I love my job. I don't never love Falls Park. I love the Y. But I'm like, how do I sit and push other people's brands and don't complain and not push my own? So, more like, and I had to get on myself because I had to be real with myself and have these conversations. Like, So you really getting up every day to bust your tail to get online for another person's brand. But when it's time for you to sit down and sit and strategically think about what you got the birth of the world to give, and you having issues. Yeah, you know why? Because in my mind, that's my mindset. You got time, take a nap, send them all go. Then the next day, then guess what? You got enough time, girl. Go get some wine. You all right? And then I realized days was going by, but the things to move my work, they moving.
Yeah.
But my business is standing still. And it's only because I haven't really rewind my mind and my mindset because we conditioned to mindsets, and I tell y'all this all the time, where the message we hear from kids stand with us forever until we reset our mind. So in our mind, my generation before y'all guys, it was you get a good job and you stay there forever and you be the best you. So I'm trying to, with the help of my children, because they had to show me this, I'm trying to redirect my mind where that's not the case. Nowadays, your generation and HeartSmiles have taught me and proven to me that you could be your best you and you could jump out there and do your business and you could thrive long as you stay alignment into your business. So here we go. I just want you to know how the mind works. My mind is saying, yeah, you could see it, but I've been telling you for years, you got to stay on the job and get the money. There's no other way to do it. But here I am with two young entrepreneurs who I see moving, right? They don't have no skill. What I mean by skill, they don't have no degrees. Um, they don't have the longevity on jobs, but they moving. And their mother is still on a job. And I have gifts, but I share here and there. But I watch my children use a job as exactly what it is, a job. And their gifts is what they maintain and be their best at. So I just want to let y'all know, like I had to learn, and I'm still learning because I have to shift my mindset. But I'm grateful because I get to see young people jump out there and don't be afraid. The sad part for our generations, they made us fearful. They made us scared because they said if you go out there, how you gonna pay your bills? So they put fear in me to say, can I really do this, right? But I see my friends doing it. I see everybody else do it, but it's the fear, and it's only from my mindset. And we gotta talk about that. We gotta talk about how do fear a lot of times show up. And unfortunately, we live in a community, most of us that live in Baltimore City all our lives, we live in a community where we don't see too much successes, right? We might see people jumping up and all of a sudden they're a rapper and then we don't see it no more, right? I mean, we see success, but we don't see it in a way where we wanted to show up, that look like, oh, if I was successful, how would I look? How would I show up? So, and then we may see people with success financially, but don't have no success mentally. So, what I mean by that is Kanye West, good person, love him, okay? Love him. He's amazing. But we know we love Kanye, so we pray for Kanye because we want him to be his best self. But we have seen some things that we as people may judge, but we don't judge, right? So when we say showing up as a leader, I'm learning. It's not even about your bank account when you show up as a leader. It's about your mindset. How do you how do you respond to challenges? How do you respond to disrespect? How do you maintain who you are in spite of what's around you? So that's the conversation for today. Mo, do we have any comments yet? Because I got to stop and go.
I know. So I'm gonna go back up a little bit for the initial question with how people were doing. They said they good. The people doing good, Miss
Oh,
England.
that's good, y'all. I'm happy.
Yeah. And then you just getting like the 100 emoji. So people agreeing with what you were saying about this particular topic. You must knew that I was gonna be on today because
I must have felt it.
because listen, worrying and fear have stopped me from doing so many things, Miss England.
Me
Like,
too. And still do. And I think it's because it's just the messages we heard we grew up, right? I have a good example. When the era was first born, I will not forget, I got a job at the Juvenile Justice Center, and I loved that job. So my mother woke me up. My interview was 8 a.m. I will not forget. She said, "Girl, you got a job at the state? You better not ever. Come on, you're going to be on time." Right? And I went, I was on time, and my mother was so proud, like I had a state job. And I enjoyed the job, but I understood it was no growth for me at a certain time. So within 5 years, I was like, okay, I gotta go. So I left a state job and went to nonprofit. Y'all would have thought I just gave up life for my mother, because she was like, "What? You left benefits and that, because when they grew up, they thought about security. They thought about, getting these jobs with these major systems, because they felt like in that generation that that's how you live. That's not me, right? It was nice working for the state, but I found my passion through nonprofit, and I found who I was through nonprofit. And now that I moved and got another job, so my grandma really was like, "Oh my God," her and my grandma was like, "You don't know what you're gonna do. You just keep changing jobs." And it really wasn't that. It was just that when I look at it, it was God elevating me to my next level and providing me skills for where I'm supposed to be here. And when you think about it, it don't look like that or feel like that at the time, because you got people judging and people saying stuff. And and what people say it don't matter. I'm not gonna lie. Sticks and stones breaks my bones. So if you got something to say, it hurts. Like, just me being honest. People say don't write, but people say I can't do that. I'm human. So it gets to me. But then when you say, and I'm so good, I could jump up and do these things. But now you're saying my purpose to go out and have my own and build systems. Okay, let's see how this works. But I realized I was I was in training. What I mean by that was every job I took, every intern I took, every class I took made me helped me become successful and to do what God wanted me to do. And so it's hard. Fear is a lot. I mean, fear stopped me so many times. I probably would have been here if I could look at my journal or how many business plans I have written over the years. It's probably more than 20. How many have I executed? The first one, right? So fear has always gave me what if you don't get the clients you want, how you gonna go back. And then when you came from me, from a person that was on welfare in Section 8, it's like, dude, I don't want to go through those systems no more. So the fear of me going on my own is, what happened if I got to use these systems again, right? And if I have to go back and ask for a job. But at the same time, I have to be confident that I was giving to the tools to be successful and the plan when it's not successful. But the fear in me saying, "But what if, Chanel? Just what if?" And that what if just staying, y'all, in my head all day long. All day long. What if? And that's what discouraged me a lot. And that's me just being honest. Like, that what if is always there. Like, what if this happened? And I'm like, okay, but then maybe I don't need to do it. And I could stay with my job and be great. And I love my job. I don't have nothing against them, but it's still something in me just saying it's something better. Even if I try to look for a new job, it's saying like the jobs I look for don't eat. There is no job created for what I want to do. So it's like God looking at me like you looking at me now, Mo, like, get it together. So we here today to say, y'all, strategically think out what are your goals to be engaged in school as you move forward. What are your goals to push forward your dreams and your gifts? First, think about what are your gifts, right? I always say we were all born with superpowers. It's certain things that you have to get in tune with yourself to see what you can do mentally and the spirit that comes with it. Because we all have things that You probably be like, I thought of that before. But no, you might have visions. People call it deja vu. No, there's people with visions. We just don't want to say people have gifts, right? So think about what your gift is. Think about your business. Think about how you're going to incorporate all of this and still show up and be your best self. Think about how you're not going to listen to the images that you hear in your head every day, right? The fat man in my head, sure, I think about this all the time. Every time I go out, and I love it. But I just be like, in my mind, I be like, if you want some hair, but I love my short hair because I gotta get up and go. You know, like woo,
Hello.
right? So I love it, but I strategically had to think that through because I came from a culture where you got hair's the thing. Hair make you younger, hair make you look a certain way, and having short hair have certain judgments. So when I say every step in your life, you have to think it through, and it may take a while. But the perfect cure for all this, if you don't pray, because I understand everybody here believes in their own higher power, meditate and just sit down and just think. Just think. Like nothing. Listen, no, you don't want to hear nothing because you want to make sure you can feel everything around you, you could see, and you could smell all your senses. Because you want to make sure you in tune, because you want to make sure that you'll be able to dialogue and have a relationship with yourself outside of who we are, but the inside of yourself. Start building those relationships. And y'all know how I am when I give you tools. What that looks like, it looks like when you having them days, just sit back with nobody else around and just start tuning into your senses. What you hear, what you smell, how you feeling, breathe it in and out, and just start thinking. Then, after you do that, stuff's going to come in your mind and it's going to tell you who you are. But you got to listen. Don't be in your mind still talking. You know how we do. What I got to do today and all your mind. No, you have to just. And this was hard because this is so funny. I'm a busy person. And what I realized, distraction is real. I realized I've been busy, so I won't be focused on what my real purpose is.
Oh my
Right?
goodness.
So I just realized this. So I be having to realize, like, what the heck? I'm busy doing this, and this. But this ain't my purpose. This ain't pushing me nothing. It just make me look busy. That's it. And it's like I think I thought busy mean I'm working. No, I wasn't doing nothing for me. So I had to stop because I realized being busy was taking me away from that sitting down and figuring out and tuning in with me. Another thing I found out too that was about myself, and I don't care, I share everything, was that I hate writing and reading. I hate it with a listen, y'all, I hate it with a passion. But I got my master's. You know what I mean? Like, and after getting my master's, I was like, I really like creating systems and writing policies. But I'm the same person who ain't never like writing or reading. And I love reading and writing now. And so, because my mind gets to wondering and I like to create systems and all of that stuff. So then it made me think that too, that was a distraction. And my mind to say, you ain't got time for that. You ain't got time. You ain't got time to read that. Hurry up and write that. It was always a distraction because that was tied into my purpose. So you have to figure out when you're doing this time to yourself, listen to your body, listen to your purpose, because your body is going to start doing, telling you things, and your messages is going to be different. And then you can start scrambling down what that looks like. So if you're saying, like, I know my purpose is to build communities, so building companies and building people. So once I heard communities and people, I start strategizing how I want to do that. And I sat down and said, communities and people, what do I want to do for communities and people? And I want them to heal. But how do I do that in a strategic way? These how you get through life, y'all. And I'm learning this. This is something I'm learning. This ain't nothing Miss England did. No, we learning this together. So once you do that, then you have to have a commitment every day of getting up, listening to whatever you like. But one thing that you have to do, and I know y'all hate this, I talk about it all the time, y'all look in the mirror and talk to yourself. You got to start loving this. This was hard to love all this. Because I was used to be like this before kids. And so I got like this. You know? Little first kid, I was, yeah. Yeah, I was, yeah. Then Ava, I was like that. So I had to learn how to
Miss
love.
English.
You know, they know I be real when it was. So I had to learn how to love this all over again. And not only love it, but love it is who I am today. Because I'm not the same person I was 17, 18 years ago. And that took a lot of time and it took a lot of being by myself, looking in the mirror at myself. Like right now, I'm so proud of myself that I can look actually at the camera because the camera looking right back at me. And I don't feel no type of way, right? So, excuse me. Excuse me. But y'all have to, gotta get in tune with ourselves because what I'm realizing as I'm older, it is people that have great companies, um, great leaders, great people that's showing up, but their mental health is just not what we want as humans, right? Because I respect great leaders, but I also see the pain when you be rude, when you be disrespectful, right? And that all comes from things based off our environments and what we feel in our past. And so we don't want our past showing up in our future. We gotta address it. And so I know at your age, it was a soul lot I had to address before I became a woman, and I had to accept. And it's okay. And today is a new day. So we never look back, but as you, as an individual, you need to look back to figure out how do I make decisions that's better? How do I move forward and be better? But, and how do you analyze when you do make bad decisions to make a better decision the next time? That's it. Any questions, Mom?
Um, not from not from the chat right now, but people definitely just still agreeing with you and just resonating with what you're saying. Because what everything that you're saying, as always, is relatable and just really real. And I was just thinking like through my experiences as you were talking, right? So like going back a little bit further to when you were talking about like how our parents like kind of instilled in us like you get a job and you stay with that job your whole
Yeah.
life. I was raised like that as well. And like coming from my mother has been an educator for 40 years,
Wow.
and like yeah, like that's just what she's been doing like consistently for 40 years. Not too much, I mean, changing schools and stuff of course, but same kind of position and everything like that. That's worked for her, and that's great, you know. But I know that that's not my path, you know, and it's hard for people to understand that, you know,
Yeah.
especially the people that raised you, and then like your family too, or just people close to you in general that know you as a certain way, know that a certain path works or
Yeah.
has worked in the past, and they're like, but you do it, you supposed to be going like this and you going like this,
Yeah.
and I need you to sit down. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to sit down. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like that's just
Yeah.
not what I'm feeling. That's just not what I'm supposed to do. That's what I thought I was doing. And that's what I thought I was supposed to do. But then I was also realizing why I was unhappy too.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So it was like, all right, well, I think I'm supposed to do this and this is what I'm supposed to do. So why do I feel like I'm suffocating? Like,
Right. And you know, Mo, I think the hardest thing for me with that situation was me still feeling like a kid that I was disappointing my mother. Because it's like you get back to that kid again, where you feel like you've been disappointed. But it's something that I'm teaching my mother and my grandmother. So even with my grandmother, when the studio was open, with De'Aaron and I was going to the studio and all of that, we would take my grandmother because I wanted them to see, like, look, like they doing things on another level that I couldn't even think about doing, right? Um, but also, I just had this conversation with one of my friends, and I said, I knew my mother always wanted to open up a laundromat. She always said that, right? But my mother worked for the telephone company all her life. You don't have nothing in her history of journey and life with a laundromat. When she said it, I was like, what? You don't even, right? So, and I talked about that, and to say that is that if she died today or tomorrow, she died with her dream. She never done her dream. And I truly believe we are connected, right? So if she opened up the laundromat, then somebody her age probably needed a partner to do something else where they supposed to connect it. But because she didn't fulfill her dream, other people were standing. That's how I think of it. So I told my kids the other day, I said, think about how many people in our family who died who did nothing. They just worked. It's nothing when they pass to leave us. Nothing. I mean, we get the money from the funeral and all that, but it's nothing that to leave us to say they left a legacy. They did what they wanted to do, and so my children have shown me it's possible to do it. I mean, and it's not hard, but I also have to realize that people going to say stuff, people going to judge me. Um, and it's hard to for me not to fight back because I'm learning revenge is not my thing. I'm learning that I just want to have a healthy relationship throughout life. So it could be hard sometimes, it could really be hard. So I just want the people when we have these conversations is to really get in tune with what your gifts are, because I don't want to have a conversation where we're dying in our gifts and all we're doing is working for an agency that is still here. They leaving their legacy and we're pushing their goals. I don't care if y'all work at McDonald's, Amazon, anywhere. We pushing their goals, but we letting ours die. And I'm a person that really said I did too, because Phil was saying to me, "You can't do that. Who told you could do that? You came from Poplar Grove and Riggs. You can't do that, right?" I know I know I can't. I just got to do it. So I just want us to be mindful. We humans, and this life, y'all, don't come with no book. It don't tell us what to do. It's no guide. So like we talked last week about our parents, all of that, we're learning, and y'all in a great age to learn. And I'm a parent where when my kids come and confront me, I think about it and then I try to do better. And maybe sometimes you could do that with your families. And if you can't, write a nice letter to your parents and don't be mean. Like, "Ma, you get on my nerves." That no, just something needs nice and sweet. "Mom, I love you. Dad, I love you. But right now I'm just down because of da 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 da." Right? And because sometimes I know for me, I crave that attention from my mom because my dad's passed. And I'm 41 years old. Still do sometimes, right? And sometimes when I make decisions, I know it impacts. I make decisions because I want to make my mom proud, but I also have to do the backstory of how I got here. So now my mom, actually my grandmother and my mom, is now they just with the ride with me. They waiting for me to like, "All right, when you open it?" Because my mom like, I know what I'm gonna do when you open. But at first it took years because I had to change their mindset. And it wasn't me. It was really my children who helped me understand, "Ma, you've been doing this forever for everybody, but you never did it for yourself." So we have to push through, y'all. Push through. And then you got school coming up and you got all these things, but don't allow other distractions to get in front of yours. Don't allow it. Don't allow it. Y'all are great. And I see what is produced out of HeartSmiles, out of you guys. I see the work. I might don't say nothing. And sometimes I might don't even show up. But I see the work. I might be in places not even with HeartSmiles there, and a student name, not a student, a heartbeat name will come out of nowhere. And I'm like, okay, all right. I'm a little proud. But the thing is, are y'all doing this when we shut these computers? That's the real thing. Because we can't be fake in the street. And that's how I know we playing a game of fear. Because when we with HeartSmiles, you know why you got it and you good? Because you got that energy saying, "We got your back." We like your cheerleader in the back. Like, we got you. Go, go, go. And then when the scream is down, you feel like you don't have a cheerleader. So then you go back and move on to who you were. No, we still there. But you are your biggest cheerleader. And if you don't love who this is, and you don't understand what your gifts is, and you don't get it, it's easy just to fall back when it's screen down and then pick the screen back up and say, "Yay, HeartSmiles," like nothing ever happened, when we know you had done some things last night that just probably wasn't appropriate. But that's life. One thing I could say about HeartSmiles that I appreciate, and I love this, and I love it because it's just amazing, is that y'all can mess up 20 times and you can always come back to HeartSmiles. Can't find that in no other job. So we got to take that as a lesson.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
no, for real. No. You're not
Like,
ever.
we
You
have to, go ahead, Mom. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say you have to come back better though. Don't just be coming back with the same old mess. Don't come back here with the same old mess because we ain't for it.
We
Okay,
ain't for it, right?
we
But
understand.
HeartSmiles appreciate your growth and respect it, so they let you back in. Not going
Absolutely.
to find that too many places. I want
Yeah.
to be really clear, because when you get older and you go through these systems and you might go to another job as support, and you might think I'm gonna get the same thing I get from HeartSmiles, and you won't, because the difference from HeartSmiles is it comes from the heart. Everybody who attached to HeartSmiles, it comes from the heart. You can call us and we don't even get paid, and you can say, "Hey, come do here at 12 o'clock at night," and we be like, "Okay, HeartSmiles, all right, we coming." Right? Because it comes from the heart.
Yeah.
But when I just want you to understand, when you go to other places, it may not be that way. So while you here, get all you can,
No.
because you're gonna be the one to create this space in the next generation for them to be safe. And the
No.
only way you could do that, if you get these tools from HeartSmiles, understand who you are, and constantly keep coming back. Even if you get in your 20s, 30s, and want to volunteer, come back.
That's
Support.
where that's where we really gonna see like the bigger
Picture.
impact. You know what I'm saying? When y'all get to be like 25, 30, 35, whatever, y'all come back and y'all are mentors. Like, I mean, y'all are mentors now to each other, but like y'all are adult mentors, like heartbeat mentors to other heartbeats. Like that's gonna make my heart so happy.
Yeah, and it is. I have been in programs when we did that model, and it's funny. I just had a conversation in one of my other programs, the same thing, and it makes us, the adults, feel old, but it's wonderful to watch, because I feel like my goal is to train my replacement, because I do want to retire one day, and I do want a young person to take over.
Yeah.
So I think we have to continue to create these spaces where our young people could thrive, not only like workforce development, academic, but mentally, because we want to create great people in society that know how to think based off of data, and not what you hear or what you see, but you know how to make critical thinking. You have the critical thinking skills to make decisions that will impact the world, and you won't do it out of anger at y'all. You won't do it from your own judgment, but you're doing it for the people. That's what we're trying to create here. Any questions, concern?
No, I do wanted to go back to the support just real quick. I'm gonna say
Go
something.
ahead. No, I ain't no real quick, girl. We can talk about it.
No, but I just that support thing really spoke to me because it's like you cannot rely on that, y'all. And I know Miss England basically like said that like you'll go to a place and you will not get the same support. She is not lying, and some of y'all have already experienced that. But if you don't know how to support yourself and what you want to do and your dreams and your passions, well, nothing will get done. Like,
Nothing. And you can't expect, and I had to share this with my own children. You can't expect nobody to believe in your dream as much as you do either. That's the real. Like, I learned that. Like, as I grew, and people be like, "Yeah, Emma, you'll be good doing this," and I'll be right there waiting for them to support me. And then the time comes, girl, I got something to do. But then hear me depending on people. Now I feel left bad, and I feel not competent because I relied on other people to do things for me. Don't do it. This is your dream. Nobody is not going to carry out the dream like you. Nobody ain't going to respect your dream like you do, and nobody going to guard it as much as you do. Be careful. But to do that, you gotta understand who you are. And most says something real good. You gotta be your own support. When nobody else ain't around and you feeling down, you gotta be the one to pick you back up. And I don't want you to think that we don't go through this. That's how I'm here to tell you. I had to learn. There've been times I've been down and I said, okay, who gonna call me? get me up out of this bed. And a soul called me. Ain't nobody called me. Ain't nobody text me. So I had to get up in spite of how I felt at that moment, and I had to move. But I had to motivate myself. I had to do that. It was not nothing that anybody support me with.
Absolutely. Ania is really just resonating with this whole conversation. So she had joined maybe a few minutes ago. So she said, "Man, I just joined. Must be a reason." She talking exactly how I be.
Oh wow.
And she was just agreeing with you. And Corey, Corey, Corey talking about you doing amazing, sweetie.
What is that my child?
Yes, that's your show. And she said you can't, but then she said you can't expect to, you can't expect support. People don't owe you anything. You got to be your
Mm.
biggest supporter. So
That's the thing too. And so I understand what Corey about the owe, because I felt like people owe me. Like I pour in a lot in everybody, because I'm a person I want everybody to be great. So I'm gonna give you all I can. And I felt like because I pulled in so many people that had certain skills that they was going to support me when I needed them, and that didn't happen. And I was hurt, and fear came in, because in my mind I was like, "You don't have them skills, girl. You can't do it." So what I do, I built my own skills that I was lacking. First I inventoried what I was lacking, then I built those skills, and then I just started researching of the things that I wanted to bring to earth, and bring that I want to birth my company and all of that. And I started researching what was best way for me, because you could research and realize that it's just what you read may not be for you. But I took the information and put my brand on it. So, but it took a while. I'm not gonna lie. It took a while to understand that people don't owe me anything, and that support from other people is a plus, but I can't expect that. So you can't expect people to support you. What I'm about to say is real. You can't expect people to be happy for you either. It's unfortunate we in a culture where when you're doing great, when you stop entertaining things that is the norm for the social world, that now you become you acting different, or you think you better, or you don't hang with us no more. So as I was transitioning into from being a hood girl to professionalism, uh, it was hard, right? It was hard because the people I grew up with in my hood was like, what the hell you talking about? You gotta go to a meeting, gotta be chilling. We on the porch chilling. What you talking about? Right? It got to the point, this is so real, and I would never do it again. It got to the point that I was in meetings and doing stuff, but guess what, y'all? I felt like it was no alignment with my friend, so I didn't talk. So I kept all of my secrets of the great things I was doing in myself. And it was only because I knew they couldn't accept it, because they didn't know how to, for one. And for two, I didn't want to feel like, oh, you different now. You think you better, and that's not what it was. So that transitioning from being in a space of the hood and now to professionalism, and I had to move on and let go. So I moved on, and I started my professional life, started working and, getting my jobs and, going to school. And my best friend the whole time was watching, used to say little stuff, but never, she just watching. And as I grew and I realized I was now in a position to bring people with me, I went back and got my best friend and was like, listen, this world right here is different than we used to. This professional world, this network is different. And I can't really be myself with you because I'm different now. Yeah, I still got the hood, but my outs, the way I think, the what I think of, the things that I think about, my input is different, right? And the way y'all might think, I don't think it's funny anymore because I might feel like it's offensive. So we had a conversation, and she started thinking about her gifts. And so I pulled her along with the journey with me. And I say that to say, you don't forget where you come from, but you're going to have to leave for a minute, right? Because you got to get you together. And sometimes where we come from, it's not healthy. And the people around us don't know what success look like. They don't know what it feels like. And so when you start talking about climbing the ladder and you doing your business, they're going to look at you like, well, you can't do that. And I felt like for me, I had to remove myself from the comments and the messaging. So I was already afraid. It was in me because I was born with it with my parents, afraid to be my best me and go out and do me, because it was like, you get a job, you stay with it. Forget a school, you do whatever. So I had to remove myself. And I don't want people to feel like that's a bad thing, because you can sit all day on the steps with your friends and chill all out, and you be still sitting there. Because I went back to my hood the other day, and they still sitting there now. And they asking me like, "Girl, you got some jobs? Can you run for the city council?" So now I come back in a better position, because now I'm showing them I came from where you coming from, but now we're going to do this together, right? I'm going to help you. And now they get it. Now they call me the little city council of Poplar Grove, but they get it. But at first it was hard because the transition, when you with a group of people for so long and that's all you know, success wasn't a part of my life. If I would have kept doing and being distracted and being busy, I wouldn't be here on right now having this conversation. If I didn't remove myself from my neighborhood, I wouldn't have these conversations. But I'm grateful that I had to learn that, because I realized that I was as a young person, you used to being who you want to be with, and sometimes it's hard to be different. And when you be different based off how they normalize things, especially now what's going on with society, you got social media, certain people got to look a certain way, you got to have a certain body. So I just want y'all to know it's okay to be different. It's okay, but don't do what Miss England did, because y'all some great people on here. Don't dim your light for other people. I was dimming my light because I was afraid of the comments. I was afraid of the judgments. And the fact that I was afraid how people was going to judge me because I was moving from success. Think about how that even sounds. But guess what? Where I come from, it's not normal to be successful. It's not normal to go to college. It's not normal to help your community. So it to me, to be normal where I grew up, if right now if I was running a couple of blocks, had a couple of houses, and my baby father was the biggest person in Baltimore City supplying all the drugs, that was normal where I came from. So me doing this is like, woo. And I'm doing it single by myself with 3 beautiful children. I'm telling you, that's a snack. So don't be discouraged. Don't worry. Don't feel down. And if you do, because I get there, don't tell yourself back up. Because what you birthing right now, y'all, the energy that y'all put in with all the things that y'all doing in the world, it's amazing. I mean, every last one of you guys, even if you don't have a business, but just showing up and being here. But we just don't want it only for us. Don't be fake for HeartSmiles. Because I'm going to just tell you, I had to realize this. There's another kid that's right beside you in HeartSmiles that's being themselves and taking in all we got. So we ain't got time to be fake. Don't be fake for us, because you're going to hurt yourself. Know who you are first. We accept you any kind of way. Believe me, HeartSmiles accept me any kind of way. I came in, Johnny was like, oh, girl, come on in. Right? I was like, okay. Look, issues and all. Johnny said, come on, I got you. So we accept you. But the thing I appreciate, HeartSmiles like a hospital. And I say that because you might go in broken, and you might come out with a little stitch of that broken disappear. You might leave again, and you might don't come back again. But you need to come back because both of your legs fell off, and you need support. We right here, right? We come back, and we will help you put your legs together. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to come to the hospital, to read the instructions, to take care of yourself, because we can't do that. And worrying is people don't want to address it in mental health in our community. The people that look like us, it's taking us out of here from strokes, heart attacks, all of that. People they just leaving us. And we saying, well, I ain't even know, because people ain't talking about their real problems, what's really haunting them to be their great self. So I need y'all when you get a chance, look in that mirror and have them conversations. Spend some time with yourself. And my brothers, I just want you to know we here for you because we know the world right now is hard for you. But we here and we love you, but we still need you to show up because we know that you are great brothers. And our sisters, same here, because the world now coming for us too. They getting afraid. And we gotta get us together so we can ask everybody else to do better. Any questions for me?
I have a question for you. I
Yeah.
guess our last few minutes. How do you, so you mentioned like discovering your gifts. For somebody who may not know how to do that, what
Mm.
do you say to them? Like how do you discover your gifts? How do you discover that
Um,
part of yourself?
so one of the things you ever want young people to think about when we talk about gift, what do you do so careless that bring that I want you to think about when you do something, how do your body feel, right? Because you the time when you're in your gift, you feel energized, you get excited. But I didn't realize what those feelings was when I would go speak. Like when I speak, I get really excited. When I'm planning for programming, I get excited. I'm into it, but I didn't understand why I was feeling those ways. And I found out that was some of my gifts. So think about when you're doing certain things. It could be cooking, it could be any of that. Just try to be in tune and figure out how I'm feeling at this moment to figure out your gifts. Also, figure out what you could do that you wouldn't even mind doing it for free. Think about that. Inventory all the things that you feel like you can do that's tangible that could bring you money as well. And then look into those things and get in tune at it to figure out what is your gift. So that's how I figured out what was mine. Did I answer it?
Yeah, no, that definitely answered it. And I'm just wondering, like, I'm wondering because that's something that I struggled with, like, because people, especially like in classes or just random activities that you be doing, they'd be like, oh, like list the things that you're good at or write down the things that you're good at. And I'm like, why are we talking about this? Like, I don't know. Like, who cares? Like,
That's what you gotta know. And I realize now those things are helpful. And
yeah,
even when you talk about what is your weakness, I found out those things are helpful. And I think we should write those things down. Because that's how I found out why my gift wasn't really working because I wasn't focusing on my weakness.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so I think we should write those things down. And I found myself for being like you for years. I don't know. I don't know what I'm good at. People say I'm good at that. And I even start writing down what people say to see, like, well, am I good at that? Does that make sense? Right. Um, but it's definitely it's a strategy. And I think so many people die with their gifts because they never figured it out. They might had a vision and say, I wanted to do this, but they never even got in tune to how to do that. It was always I want to, but never got to how.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm much better now, but especially like going on interviews and stuff like that,
Oh
because I feel like
yeah.
that's when it came out the most. Because almost every interview that y'all go on, y'all, they'd be like, what's your strength, what's your weakness, even if it's just one.
Mm-hmm.
And I could tell you my weaknesses all day. I could tell you them all day, but then when it came to the strength part, I'll be like,
But
um,
I think that comes from too, and I hate this. I think that behavior comes from people that look like us from slavery because we was taught not to know our gifts. We were taught not to talk about how great we are. And so when we get time to talk about it, we get timid, like, all right, because we always taught, don't brag about who you are, but I'm learning to brag about it. I'm learning now. All those things that we were taught was a lie. A lie. I wish what I know now is it was a lie. And that lie created fear. And then fear created no activity. So, we gotta you gotta figure out it all in line. And some of these things are generational way before we got here. That was already in our bloodline that we had to hit it at the nose. Nope, like for me, I'm creating well, my kids created before I go, they broke the generation curse with them creating their entrepreneurship. I'm trying to create the afraid. I want that off the bloodline. I don't want us to be afraid and be able to jump, right? And my kids did that, but I have to do it on a bigger scale. So I just want us to all think about like what are our gifts and what legacy we want to leave and what are our generation things that we want to keep generational from your bloodline to move on to your grandchildren and your grandchildren so we don't repeat the people that was before us, right? Because they only was doing what they know best to do, so we don't want to judge them. But now that y'all having skills as a teenager now, it's no excuse why your bloodline shouldn't be set up right now. It's no excuse.
Oh yeah. All right, Miss Aina, man.
I know.
I'm actually real quick. I'm glad that you mentioned like the historical kind of. I was gonna say that earlier, but I was like, no, that's gonna take us
See,
all the way
see,
left. That's
no,
gonna
ain't
take
take no laugh. I would it.
listen, because that historical listen, if y'all we have to learn our history because a lot of these things that are happening are a result of those things. And we have to learn, like Miss England was saying, to break those particular things. But that's a whole other
It's
session.
deep, y'all. It's deep. And that's only how I got here because I really started looking at the bloodlines on my dad and my mom. And after I realized like loving myself and getting to know myself, so now it was like, oh, I really want to have my kids to understand their bloodlines. But as I'm moving forward, I'm like, oh, okay, some things my kids just won't know. I'm just breaking we need to create our own generational thing. So one thing I tell my children now is this: I work for my grandkids, you work for yours. And if we keep that up, that will keep the wealth and the information keep going, right? When it's been times where people leave, like if other people that don't look like us, usually when they leave their people's houses, businesses. My father, I didn't get all that, y'all. I wish I did. But I want that for mine. Like, why mine can't get that? Right? So I want to create those systems. I want to create all of that in my bloodline. And it's okay. Do people in my family looked at it at first as weird? Like, oh, because even the first thing I broke in my bloodline was, and before we go, it was a time where it was like children are to be seen and not heard. So what that mean, y'all? Y'all supposed to walk around your house and not have a word or an opinion or nothing. When I say I hated that, because I'm a person, I like to talk. So if my parents and I'm talking, I wanted to get in and have a conversation too. And if someone's in my house and I felt uncomfortable, I wanted to say that. But because back then, and maybe now to some parents, children are not to be heard and just to be seen. I broke that generation curse. My kids are the heard. We gotta basically want to say we got a board. For anything that go down in my house, we have meetings. My mother thought it was crazy. Like, this your house, you pay for it. But my children live here, Mom. They gotta be safe. They gotta be comfortable. I can't be just doing anything because I live here and it's my house and I pay the bill. I want my children to be safe. So I created boundaries and so I broke that curse for mine. So my kids are to be heard and seen. Point blank, period. So on that note, I just want to let you know, as my time, I hate when we have our time.
I know. You already know. You about to drop out your jewel on us or something. We about to drop your
Yes,
jewel.
I hate a jewel because I felt like, dang, I should have wrote some of this stuff down and made it
Oh,
a jewel. But
I'm
anyway.
gonna go back and watch it because we're gonna talk about how to go back and watch it.
So the jewel is for today. The jewel of the day is that everybody is perfect and wonderful made. Please find your purpose and your gifts because I don't want you to go to your grave with them. That's it.
Beautiful. I, that's it. That's it,
They
y'all.
have anything else for me on the chat? Because I can't see.
I know, Miss England. One day we gonna get you set up where you can see the chat, you can see the cameras and all of that.
I'm gonna get it together. But see the whole thing, both of my kids got like a little studio, and I need to just go down there. Okay? Go either
Yeah,
cool your house or go down to the area little apartment that she got going on.
a whole apartment. I was like looking around, like what's going on in here? But sorry.
And I'm in the room. I just want to make that known. I'm in the room. But things you do for your children.
Of course.
But
Listen, Stinka, help. Please assist your mother, please, with the studio setup. Because she can see the comments if she wants to.
So please, y'all, I be having to come up with topics, but I prefer to get them from you. So Mo, if you could just reach out to me or let me know what topics they think is best or what you think is best for next week, because I like to make sure it relates to our heartbeats at during that time. But
Yeah.
sometimes I don't get topics, so I have to just go off what I feel.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think that was perfect. A perfect topic for today.
Okay.
But y'all heard her, y'all. Listen, any topics under the sun that you want to cover, Miss England got you. She always
Got
got
you.
you.
All right, love y'all. See you
Love you,
all.
Kelly.
All
Bye
right,
bye.
have a good day.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Don't forget the link.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm
All
not gonna
right.
forget. I'm not gonna
Bye.
forget. Bye bye. All right, y'all. That is it. We are at time, like literally right at time. So I hope that y'all had a good time rocking with us today on Winning Wednesdays. We do have Thriving Thursdays tomorrow too. It'll be me again, but but y'all let me know what we're talking about tomorrow because y'all already know Thriving Thursdays be like an in the moment type of thing. So y'all let me know what we're talking about tomorrow. Make sure that you think of topics that you really, really want Miss England to dive into for Winning Wednesdays because y'all always know that she brings the real and she always just dives deep into those particular topics and dives right into your soul. She be touching my soul. So yeah, y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow for Thriving Thursdays, hopefully at 6. And then we have the music track with Beats and Mr. Lou at 7. So I'm gonna see y'all later. Bye bye. Have a good night.